really glad I came in for this.
Yeah,
It's everywhere.
he was like, make sure you wake up at 11 so we'll have time to podcast.
Hey everybody,
and then
wake
I was
up
like,
at
so
11.
what's the plan for today? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's
So, the
That's-
professionalism is
that's-
real.
That's the spirit of the podcast, is that we're never
Not
prepared.
knowing what we're doing.
Yeah. When do you want to go?
Whenever you want to start. But when you start, let me know so I can hit play so we have the intro of the podcast on camera. Is it recording right now?
Yeah, it's recording.
No.
But what
okay.
if I start and don't tell you?
We'll just, it'll look awkward because it'll be like 2 seconds too late. Logan wants to get out of here.
Hello everybody and welcome to an I Didn't Warn Nick Ahead of Time to record on the camera edition of the WIU podcast. So now it looks awkward.
There's
I
a
am
camera
walking
in
forward.
here.
Yeah, there's a
Not
camera
a
in here.
webcam, just a normal camera.
You can see the camera on the webcam. I am Walker Ford. I am the host. I am the producer. I am the almighty leader of this podcast. That's why it's so unprepared all the time.
Are you also a DJ? Do you have a show?
I do.
What
Sure.
is it?
From 6 to 8 on Friday.
It's really small in here. I can't get.
Don't listen to it. It's awful. Listen to Logan's show.
Logan Berrier, DJ TK, BPM 8 to 10, and Walker's producer.
I'm Nick. I'm the guy with the camera for today, and I have the median mix 2 to 4 on Fridays.
And I've
Yeah.
decided I don't want to use these headphones. It's too unnerving because it sounds, for whatever reason, it plays like all three of them 3 times over at the same time. So it sounds like super echoey and
It's fun.
I don't like it.
Sitting
now-
in here bright and early, Saturday noon.
Yeah. It's not noon, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's noon. All right. What are we going to talk about today? All right. So here, I know what we're going to talk about today. One thing, Martin O'Donnell. You know Martin O'Donnell.
Yes.
Do you know Martin O'Donnell?
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, Martin O'Donnell is the old composer for Bungie who did all the Halos, except for Halo 4.
Yeah, Halo 4
But-
was 343.
Which was
so
pretty noticeable that he didn't do it
Yeah.
because it was all techno.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. But I guess it made sense within the thing because the
I
Prometheans
guess.
or whatever they were called, they were all techno and super metal. Anyhow, Martin O'Donnell got fired from Bungie a while back after Destiny, and it was sort of this thing like, why'd that happen? Nobody really knows, and it's like, oh no, Activision's evil. Technically, it's still Activision is evil, but mostly from Martin O'Donnell's point of view. So what happened was there was like some sort of release today. I saw this morning when I was laying in bed, too lazy to get up and take a shower, that the reason he got fired was because he was throwing basically a hissy fit because during one of the trailers for E3, Activision put their own music onto the trailer instead of his. And he claimed that it was like an infringement of like his creative like liberty and freedom, and
It wasn't even their own music. They put a
yeah,
Led Zeppelin
they put
track.
a Led Zeppelin song on it. But he said it was like is wrong to like disrupt his
Well, I
creative
mean,
freedom.
for the most part, he's getting paid to make music, not necessarily getting paid to have his music in the game.
Yeah, but the thing is that I guess it was weird for him because when they were under Microsoft.
He
I
was
guess-
like the last word when it came to music.
Yeah, like they pretty much gave him that say, but in Activision he didn't really have that so much.
Which he doesn't really need to have a say because it's
Yeah.
not his company. He's
Yeah.
just
And
another
honestly,
employee, and they can make changes.
Activision is much better at marketing than Microsoft when it comes to video games.
Yeah.
So I don't. As much as I love Martin O'Donnell,
Yeah,
he
I
really
mean,
shouldn't have freaked out about
I
that.
as I'm reading it, I thought like, I guess I could see where he's coming from, but also at the same time, I think Activision and Bungie are technically right here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't,
sure,
I
it's
don't think
kinda
you be
sucked,
in
but-
that business for that long and then throw a hissy fit because one song got cut from a commercial.
Yeah. So what happened was he threw the hissy fit, and then
Do you know
They
what game
tried
it was
to-
for?
Destiny.
Oh, it was Destiny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he got fired before Destiny was a thing.
No, it was during Destiny.
Okay.
After the whole thing happened, they tried to tried to fire him, but then Bungie's kind of like, nah, we're just gonna keep him because this is our dude. He's like one of the
Yeah.
co-founders of like the company, but he just kept going with it, and his attitude, so to say, was just like it was
was
rubbing off on
parasitic.
everyone else in the company. So they just eventually had to fire him. He sued Activision and eventually won back some of his like shares of the company and bunch of compensation for co-founding.
Yeah, I was gonna
But-
say he should have gotten like a golden parachute.
Yeah, but then okay, so wow, now Martin O'Donnell's out there and free and doing his own thing now. What's he gonna do?
Work with Ken Levine. Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Honestly, I feel like he's not going to do anything.
Probably not.
Like
He's just burned out.
he's
Well-
just going to keep like the only thing that's going to keep him as the public is he'll like publicly remain opposed to Bungie on Twitter.
Oh,
Is all
it
I
wasn't.
imagine.
He's
It
like the
didn't
dude
seem
from
like it was-
MASH who wrote the theme song for MASH, where all he's known for is writing that theme song.
Oh,
Like, Martin O'Donnell's never going to break free from that guy who wrote the Halo music.
he wrote the Bungie music or the Destiny music too. And that was good.
Well, I imagine he'll at least never be in the video game industry anywhere. Because now people have seen this
How he acts.
poisonous
Yeah.
employee
Yeah.
who, when you fire him, totally for good reasons, will sue you.
Well, I think it depends, because if
Well-
you remember that one video that went viral like a year ago where that woman did the I Quit music video, it was to some Kanye song, I forgot what, but she like videotaped herself dancing in the office after hours and it was like, I quit, and it went viral, and half the people were like, wow, this is super unprofessional, you're never getting hired again, and then the other half were like, wow, you're creative and stand up for yourself, good for you. So I can see some people saying like, way to stick to your guns, but
I mean,
depending
he-
on what he
and-
publicly said.
I feel like he'd want to go somewhere big, though.
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah.
he's been with Microsoft and
His,
Bungie.
his
and
big
I-
issue
he
wasn't
would
with
want to go
Bungie.
to like a little game.
Bungie tried to keep him around for as long as they could, but he just had a very fuck the man sort of attitude. Like, he didn't like being under Activision.
Which is a pretty bad attitude to have
Yeah.
when
you
you're
work
just
for
a
them.
And-
musical creator. For
and
a
when he
game.
sued them, it wasn't because of the whole thing. It was to get like back those
Yeah.
shares and stuff that
Yeah.
he initially
Well, that I
lost.
get. If you co-found
Yeah.
something, you should have your.
That
part
was the
in
one
it.
part I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But the whole attitude problem was
So
kind of
maybe The Social Network was really written about Martin O'Donnell and Bungie.
Martin O'Donnell. Which one's Martin O'Donnell?
What? The guy who
Andrew
got
Garfield.
screwed. Yeah.
Andrew Garfield. Wait, oh yeah, I forgot he was even in there.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that movie in a very long time.
I watched it for the first time like 3 months ago.
Did you see they're making a documentary about
About-
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
I did.
Why?
No,
didn't.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is playing Edward Snowden.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
did
yeah,
hear about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
I
didn't
saw
know it was
that.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing as him though.
That's
thought-
gonna
How
be
many movies are they gonna have about Snowden?
that's gonna be the most boring movie I've ever seen.
Probably. The culmination of the movie is just him sitting in like some Russian like building.
Is it
For like a 30 minutes.
No. Okay.
The most exciting part of the movie is when John Oliver comes and interviews him.
It's gonna be 3 hours of him in a
That
Russian
interview
airport.
Was brutal.
It's like Terminal Man.
Where he's like, no one really knows who you are anymore. Like, you're not really a hero in the American eyes.
And he had him walk through and like describe everything
Yeah.
in terms of dick pictures, which was the best way to describe it.
Yeah,
But is he still there? Is he still there?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
And Julian Assange is still in Ecuador, right?
No, he
Is he
was
not?
in Sweden.
I thought he was allowed in Sweden.
He's in an embassy though.
Oh, is he in an Ecuador embassy in
I
Sweden?
think I think he might be.
Oh, I thought he was in Ecuador. I guess that makes sense now.
No, he's been in it for like what 6-7 years.
Dude, that sucks. What does he do? What do you think he does with his free time? Does he just sit there?
Bitch about how bad Benedict Cumberbatch made him look in his movie.
Oh my god. Oh, that wasn't his movie. That was like that was a very propaganda-ish movie from the opposite viewpoint of Julian Assange.
Yeah, he's in the embassy of Ecuador.
Embassy of Ecuador in Sweden?
Yes.
Okay. Why is Ecuador like on his side?
Because people don't like America. I don't know. I got nothing.
I guess. I feel like Ecuador's
Out
like
of spite.
Ecuador's like nobody ever talks about Ecuador. Let's bring Julian Assange here. Maybe that'll get people thinking
It's
about
a
us.
tourist trap.
It's a
like-
tourist trap. People are gonna go there and eat the guinea pigs and stuff.
I mean, except they're not in Ecuador.
Yeah, but now people are gonna be like,
They're
people are
gonna go to Ecuador.
they're gonna they're gonna get confused like I did, and
embassy
be
in
like,
Sweden.
they're looking for Julian Assange, but instead they direct them to the guinea pig restaurants. Have you ever seen those?
I've seen them in Bloom. They used to sell frozen guinea pigs.
No, see, in
Bloom.
Ecuador, I saw it on like Bizarre Foods. So I'm assuming they probably picked out the weirdest one they probably could. But they had like this little cage, and it's like you get to pick out the guinea pig as it's
God.
running around.
It's like Red Lobster.
There was an episode
Yeah,
of
except
Bar
cute and fluffy.
Rescue that had a skill crane with lobsters in it.
Oh,
And if you got the lobster, it was free. Like, they'll cook it for you. But it got shut down because it was, like, inhumane. Because they were showing clips of, like, people would grab part of the lobster and it would just rip the lobster in half. And it would, like, leave them disfigured and just dying in a fish tank.
oh my God!
So they got shut down for that.
Who thought that was a good idea? Wait, was this after or before the bar rescue?
It was before the bar rescue.
Okay.
And then John Taffer was like, what the hell are you doing with the lobster skill crane?
Oh my God! Was it easy? Like, did people?
No.
Oh. Did anyone ever actually
Yeah,
win a free lobster?
like people got it often enough, and that was another thing. He's like, you guys are losing money every time they catch a lobster, and if they don't catch a lobster, your lobsters die, so you lose more money.
What a horrible idea. How much does a lobster cost? Like, if I went to Martin's
It
right
depends
now,
where.
like,
Around here, it's probably like 20-something bucks a pound.
damn, how
Up
much
in
does a
Maine and
lobster weigh?
Boston, it's probably like $8 a pound.
How much does a lobster weigh?
Depends
Yeah,
on the
depends
lobster.
on the lobster.
Okay, there's an average weight of like everything. What's the average weight of a lobster?
I don't know.
Like a pound? 2 pounds? I never held a lobster before. They're kind of scary looking.
Yeah, they taste good.
You taste good. Wait,
That was weird.
Logan.
Moving on.
Mr. Robot finale. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't see it yet.
What? So what? So I'm the only one. So you don't watch the show.
I don't
You haven't
watch
seen it
it.
yet. I just want to sit here and talk about it, but I can't. I'm gonna tell you all about it, Logan.
Okay.
First off, there were some computers. There's a guy. Mr. Robot was there.
Is his name actually Mr. Robot?
Not necessarily. It's the dude's got like a name patch that says Mr. Robot, and that's just kind of what they call him.
Mr.
Christian's-
Roboto.
Christian Slater. What is it? What has he been in besides this? Because I feel like
Archer.
really. Oh, I don't watch Archer. So.
Who was he in Archer?
A CIA agent named Slater.
Oh. I
Is
guess
that,
that makes
is that
sense.
like the only thing he's been in recently? Because I feel like Christian Slater is a big-ish name, but I haven't seen him in anything ever, except this.
I don't know. I don't really know him from anything.
When I hear Christian Slater, I just think of Mario Lopez because of Saved by the Bell.
Oh,
So
well, he killed him. Deadpool did in that
yeah,
trailer.
he did.
Yeah, the Mr. Robot.
Well, no, he
finale
didn't
was
kill
great.
Mario Lopez. He did kill Mario Lopez.
Yeah, remember he
just kidding.
smashed him
Yeah.
with a giant light.
Yeah.
The Mr. Robot finale was awesome, and you need to watch it today. You're gonna watch it today.
No.
You're gonna watch it today.
No.
You have to watch it. Logan, it's so
Just get
good.
Swifty instead.
It's so good. They made me wait a whole week because they moved it.
Wasn't it delayed because it was
Yeah,
really closely related to the like
Kind
news
of.
shooting thing?
Yeah.
kind of, but it's not like.
Which honestly, I
It's
don't
not the
understand
same
what a
situation.
week difference is gonna make.
Yeah, I don't know
But-
why they didn't just. Because either way, it would have been. If they would have put it out like immediately after, it'd have been like some crazy people like, oh, they knew, they predicted, it's inside job. Do you get those nuts? And then you put it out next week, and then you just get the other people who are like, they're taking advantage of it. So either way, they were gonna get
Man.
flack for it. They should have just played it because I didn't want to wait a week.
They should have just
It was so
canceled the
good.
show.
Oh,
Before the finale.
Yeah,
Don't
the
make me-
week
don't make
before
me
the
sad.
finale.
season 2, Logan, next year. So excited.
Did you see that post on Reddit about the show Rob Lowe had on NBC? That they
No.
canceled after like 6 episodes,
No.
but they still wanted them to make enough episodes to finish the season and make a DVD. So Rob Lowe had creative
Oh,
like
God.
direction over the show, so he made it go absolutely crazy after episode 6.
Oh my god. Wait, what show is this?
I don't remember what it was called. It was an older show, but he ended up making like the main character a serial killer.
Wait,
This doesn't even sound like Rob Lowe.
was it like a complete like 180? Was it just
Yeah.
like,
Because they didn't care because NBC
Was it a
canceled it.
comedy? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
this sounds like an interesting show that I want to watch. just out of curiosity, I want to see how fast it changes.
The Lion's Den
The Lion's Den.
It sounds like a serial
is a
killer
legal
TV show.
drama starring Rob Lowe as a lawyer called Jack Turner, newly appointed as partner of a long-established law firm that, as the plot revealed, harbored some dark secrets.
As the plot revealed.
Lowe said that he and the show's producer made all 13 episodes, which they were contractually obligated to make for the possible DVD distribution, as absurd as possible. The last episode ended with Lowe's character being exposed as a serial killer by another lawyer, whom he then killed before jumping to his death from the firm's office tower.
Wow.
We need to find this show.
They
We gotta
didn't
watch it.
finish out the Caveman series. Do you remember that from like 6 or 7 years ago, the Geico Caveman show?
I
It
just
was
remember seeing they
so
were going to
bad.
make one.
It was canceled after 3 episodes because the ratings were awful.
Mm.
Like, ratings were super high for the first episode because everyone wanted to see if it was good or not.
Who was like, our commercial is so successful, let's turn it into its own 30-minute
I want to know if
show.
they did marketing. I feel like they did marketing for it, and they did like polls, and people just as a joke were like, "Hell yeah, I want to watch this as a TV show," just so they could like watch it completely.
As
wrong.
Geico's like going through like the final stages of doing this, like, this is fucking stupid. Who wants this?
Or Geico was like, out of all of our different commercial mascots, which one would you want to see a show of? People were like, I guess the caveman.
At least
Which
Flo
led them
doesn't
to,
have her
people
own
want a
TV
caveman
show.
show. Let's give them one.
Forced him into the decision. Of
I
all
wonder
the,
if Geico actually like got paid for that show, or if they just did like a one-time buy the rights to the caveman.
I want to imagine they just bled money.
Yeah.
they would have to pay to have that.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I want to know if they were actually involved in the show, or if they just got money for having the cavemen in it.
Did they have a lot of sweet like product placement? Because the whole show was technically a product placement.
Probably. Every episode involved multiple car crashes, which always were covered by Geico car insurance.
What? So, I vaguely remember like the trailers and stuff.
The
for
only
it.
episode I remember was they bought a Wii because Wii was big back then to play Wii tennis, and the one of their friends was like, "Wow, you're really bad at this." He was like, "Is it because I'm a caveman?" So like every 2 minutes they just did that.
So it was like a weird show about racism,
Yeah.
but
Think
To
of
cavemen.
Blackish,
Substituted
but with
cavemen.
cavemen. And that's pretty much what this show is.
that's uncomfortable.
That show was so shitty, even a caveman could make it. Oh, sorry. What was that? You threw me off topic, and I don't remember what I was going to
What
say.
do you mean I threw you off topic?
I'm
We
just
went on a
blaming someone.
tangent from Martin O'Donnell to Geico cavemen.
Yeah, you threw. I'm blaming you.
Sure.
Wait, it was something that we said. Oh, Deadpool's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
that
what do you,
was-
I don't think we've talked about it on here yet. Like, what do you think of like the whole Deadpool movie here?
I don't know. I hate Deadpool.
I
probably not
like
gonna see
Deadpool.
it.
He's pretty funny. I don't like actively watch Deadpool, but I'll probably watch it.
I mean, I don't
Who
either. But
is it? Disney or is it
It
Fox?
is
It's Fox.
Okay.
Whoever has X-Men. Is that Fox? Okay. Yeah, because they have like Colossus in there.
The
too.
one thing I'm really excited for is like every superhero movie has been PG-13 for the past like whatever years, and they made the Green Band trailer PG-13, and they played it in front of a bunch of big movies. So all these parents didn't see the Red Band trailer on Conan, so they think it's going to be like a totally like appropriate movie for their kids to go see when they're like 10, and they're just going to be scarred for life, and it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not gonna really bring their kids to it, are
Yeah,
they?
they are.
Yeah, they are.
They're gonna look at it like, see, like, oh, it's rated R.
Well, they only saw the Green Band trailer.
Yeah, but it still says rated R at the end
Eh.
of the trailer.
They'll just be like, "Oh, it's probably just a little more blood, whatever."
Somebody showed that it's. If you,
I'm gonna guess there's gonna be a ton of kids there.
if there is, then those are bad parents. Those are bad parents.
Deadpool's always bothered me because he's like this weird personification of a totally random 13-year-old. Like, I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever read anything
Well,
Deadpool,
I've read a couple things,
but it's the most painful stuff that's ever been put to print.
It comes down to like which ones you read, because some of them are really shitty, but then there's like some that are just
Old
kinda,
Deadpool was great,
there's some.
but now he'll just be like, haha, enchiladas, right?
They didn't say enchiladas or chimichangas once in the trailer, though. So
It'll
there's
be in the
hope.
movie, though. Don't
Probably
worry
at
about
least
it.
once, but
I mean, I'm gonna say that hopefully, like Ryan Reynolds was like a decent enough fan of
I
this
mean,
to like
from
not
the
go that
looks
route,
of it, the thought bubbles aren't in the movie. So I
which
feel
would
like that
be-
sounds like your biggest issue with Deadpool.
No, I think. I mean, I'm gonna go into Logan's mind here. He doesn't like that it just kind of encompasses sort of like the weird like randomness that is like.
But like this one has a plot. It's not just
I
gonna be
mean,
like the Deadpool video game.
Deadpool is known as the merc with a mouth in the sense that he was like this horrible, awful, offensive person.
Which
But it's turned into like the merc who's totally wacky.
I think this.
I don't think the
movie's
movie's
gonna-
going in the same direction as the comics.
I think
is-
the movie's.
I mean,
going
they
with
are
the-
using Negasonic Teenage Warhead as the supporting character.
Yeah. Mostly for two reasons. One, what a fucking awesome name. And two, I feel like nobody actually cares about Negasonic Teenage Warhead enough to be like, oh, you screwed up Negasonic Teenage Warhead. That was my favorite. There's going to be like 1.5 people out there who are like, oh, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. That's my superhero.
favorite D-list X-Men.
It's not even like, it's not even on the list. You have to like, it's like a post-it note
Isn't
put on the
Cable
list
gonna
of
be in
shitty
it?
X-Men.
No.
No,
I
I
don't think
thought
so.
Cable was in it.
Which one's Cable? I forget.
He's
The
the
time
X-Men that
traveler.
like hates / loves Deadpool.
No, Colossus is. Colossus is in the movie. The big, but he's like metal now. He's not like shitty like he was in the
Yeah.
X-Men movies. He was like punched him, but yeah, I think that the movie's gonna go more the route of not so much the lulls and so much more like he's just a total asshole to everyone,
Hopefully.
which it seems like it. He's a
Besides, who
dickhead.
doesn't love the line, your face looks like an avocado had sex with an older avocado?
Yeah, but that wasn't Deadpool. Deadpool didn't. say
Yeah,
that.
but that's still funny. It was
That-
the same writing.
Yeah, I know, but like that's one of the biggest like
Or
problems
the,
I had with the
don't
trailer.
make my suit green and animated.
Yeah,
Like
I-
the fact that he's making fun of the bombs of movies he's been in the past. It's pretty cool.
the whole thing with T.J. Miller at the end of the trailer bothered me because they set up like this whole trailer like, oh, Deadpool. Now let's listen to this other dude be so much fucking funnier than Deadpool.
He wasn't that much funnier though.
It was way better. It's way better. He had all the better lines. I don't know. I'm excited for it.
I think it'll be good.
My
I'll
official.
go watch it with Logan.
I'll be indifferent.
Oh,
I'll
Oh,
not
whoops.
see it until I read things about it.
you won't see it until you read things. You're gonna. Are you a
Yeah,
review
trust
person?
the internet about how good a movie is.
Are you?
Don't
do you-
listen. Whatever Walker says, just do the opposite of.
Hey now, I have good opinions.
No, you don't.
No.
I know Mr. Robot was good. You agree with
He
me?
was trying to hate on Book of Eli yesterday.
Book of Eli is a good movie.
It's not a great movie. I didn't say it was a bad movie. I just said it wasn't a very. There was nothing really memorable. But I watched it once and said, "There, okay, I saw it."
No,
I'm
it was
interested in
good.
that new Johnny Depp one coming out.
Which
Black
The
Mass.
Black Mass.
Yeah, the trailer for that was crazy with like the steak.
I don't think I've seen this trailer.
Oh, you haven't?
I haven't heard of this
Uh,
movie yet.
The makeup on him too is just like absolutely unnerving.
He's playing. I don't remember what the guy's name was.
Whitey
but
Bulger. Or
yeah,
something like that.
he was a gangster in Boston,
Yeah.
I think, turned FBI informant.
Hmm.
But
Sounds
he's still
interesting.
like a really hard gangster.
Yeah, it looks pretty intense. The whole trailer for it was like one of those like super, like they just take like one scene from it and just like it's awesome. I
Gotcha.
can't. It's kind of hard to like describe. You just gotta watch it. Surprised you hadn't.
Way to drop your phone.
Yeah, I dropped my
Way
phone.
to violently throw your phone at the console.
The console had it coming. What else is coming out this fall, spring,
Star Wars.
winter?
I think didn't we just talk about this on the last podcast?
We did.
I don't think we did. I think we talked about what we saw.
No, we
'Cause-
talked about
'cause-
what we were excited for.
Yeah,
because
because we said like Hateful Eight too.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
did. Oh man, I was
Wow,
totally
Walker, you're an
unprepared.
awful.
I am really an awful host. Hey, it was a busy week. You know, it's the second week of classes. How was your classes this week, Nick? How was getting into
I
the
skipped
flow
a
of-
couple of them, but besides that, it was pretty okay.
I'm a good student. I went to all my classes.
Except you walked out of.
Yeah, there was the one. Well, okay, see, you say that, but there was good reason, and it wasn't like a bad thing. There was like what, like 30 seconds left of class, maybe.
I bet there was like half an hour left of class.
No, 'cause I was the last one. He said there was only like a minute left. I did them a favor
Oh, okay.
by it's called method acting. I'm like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to. I left that classroom. I went to Italy and learned to become a professional cobbler for a role, just like he did.
You're like Robert Downey Jr. for Tropic Thunder.
Yep.
Who underwent surgery to become black so he could play the black sergeant.
Yep. Didn't he? So Tropic Thunder, I didn't realize was good because I'd never seen it.
It's
But
pretty good.
apparently, like, got nominated
It is
for like
really
Oscars.
Good. It's,
Mhm.
and
I
there's a
had
ton
no
of, The
idea.
only person I didn't like in it was Jack Black. Like, I love Jack Black, but he was not funny in that movie.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise was funny in that
I didn't
movie.
really need. I don't know. I didn't need Jack Black to be funny because everyone
But
else
he
was
dragged
funny.
the movie down.
Yeah.
Like,
Aw.
if there was a weak point to the movie, it was Jack Black, which I hate to say.
So it was like
but-
the opposite of the King Kong movie, where Jack Black was the only good thing about the movie.
King Kong was the good thing about that movie.
Not really. Okay, the scene where they're hanging in like between like the ropes, that was kind of cool. I
I
guess.
don't remember anything about that movie.
You really?
I don't
I don't
remember a single
anything
thing.
about it.
Oh my
I
goodness.
remember playing the demo for the video game a lot.
The video game was awesome. There was like there were like dinosaurs like coming after you, and you're like
Yeah.
opening
and you just
up
like
the things.
grabbed him by the neck and like.
And
yeah.
there's like you're going through like the swamp and like the stuff's coming out from underneath you. If the video game was better, that would have been a good video game.
You just said if the video game was better, that would have been a good
Yeah.
video
I
game.
feel
Well,
like
it
that
was
holds
like-
true for a lot of video games.
It had like a lot
Most, I would.
of like
If Destiny was better,
It would
Destiny
probably be a
been a
better
is
good
video
better.
video game.
Destiny is a good video game. You just
But if
don't
it was
understand
better,
it.
it would be great.
If it was better, it would be great. But it's already good, and you just don't know how to
But
appreciate
in this
it.
culture, is good ever really enough?
yeah, it's good in comparison to Wii Tennis.
Oh, hey,
Hey, Wii Tennis is fun.
Hey, dude, I was a master at Wii bowling. All right, I was the best.
How are you at actual bowling?
Room
don't-
for if he was better, it would be good.
But yeah, they like released like other like Wii sports games for the Wii U. We should get one.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're any different though. Like, would they just like re-release bowling, or would they like throw something new in there, like extreme? What's the?
Disc
it?
golf.
Yeah, is that the shit where you have like the chains and like they fall into
Yeah.
like
Yep.
disc golf?
No, we need to get Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Oh my
Those are always
God.
the greatest games ever.
I had it for the other Wii at one point,
Yeah.
and it was a
It
nightmare.
was so much fun.
What are you talking about?
The London one was great.
I'm looking at your
I'm-
things.
I-
I wasn't paying
I'm
attention
fine.
to you. I was
I'm
just
all
making
good.
sure. It seemed weird. You're good. I don't. What was the London one? I think
The
the London
London
one was
one.
the one I played.
It was really sad because it was me and 3 other unathletic fat people, and we
Aw.
were just like working up a sweat playing the Wii.
Oh, I'd work up a sweat
The
playing
sprints, like the 500 meter whatever, or the 800. Oh my god, it was awful.
That's how they get you. They make you think you're playing a video game. Bam! You've been exercising the whole time.
Well, it's only
Damn you,
arms.
Nintendo.
Like you don't work out your legs at all.
Nobody needs legs.
So I got these killer biceps. I don't have killer
Yeah.
biceps.
I saw a dude the other day. He was like standing behind like a counter, absolutely ripped. He was like massive.
and then
he
he
walks
walked
around
out
like-
of the counter
yeah,
and he,
he
didn't
had
have
like
legs.
legs thinner than mine, and he was wearing like shorts like all the way up to like mid thigh, and he just looked like some like alien species.
Abomination.
It was a hideous creature. I mean,
Sorry if that specific person is listening to this podcast somehow.
I'm sorry. Do you from waist up, you look absolutely amazing. You are a beautiful man. Just always be standing behind a counter, please.
Wear a lot of big pants.
Yeah. Not the short shorts. The short shorts, like, does he know? Do they know? Like,
Probably
the people
not
who do
if
that,
he's wearing them.
they know? Like,
He's probably just like, my upper half looks great enough that it can make up for the lack of leg days.
The only mirror he has in his house is like a waist high one, so he actually doesn't see them. So he has no idea. He can't even see. He can't.
His pecs are so big he can't even see.
He can't look
feet.
down and see his feet anymore. That's why he can't tell. I saw. Speaking of work, I worked at Sears. I'm gonna tell you a story about a person who was at Sears. I worked in the electronics section, so there was a lot of just kind of standing around because not a lot of people came into the electronics section for a while there. Which is
not
kinda,
a lot of people come into Sears.
Yeah, that's why the electronics section got merged with the appliance section because basically they were paying me to waste my time there. And I've since moved to different places. Whatever, doesn't matter. Dude came in one day and was like really not busy, and this guy's like walking around, and he wants a VCR player. Like it was the VHS thing, like the big tapes.
I know what a VCR is.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna make a comeback.
I don't think they are because they were horrible. And this guy is telling me that he's like, it's like part of my hobby. I like recording things on the VHS and stuff. And I said like, usually, like DVR has kind of replaced that and all that. Oh, having fun there. And this dude starts getting into it, and I'm just sitting there talking to him because I have nothing better to do at this point. And he says that in like the 80s, he was like a computer science major, and he was talking about like how like they kept changing like the computer languages, and that like his major was like immediately made like completely like null, like worth nothing. So he thought that like technology was like screwing him over. So he's like super anti-technology, and he only buys VHS. He won't buy anything digital. He doesn't use the internet. So I'm helping this guy, and he's like, also I've been looking for all the Star Trek DVDs or VHS. And I'm like, I don't know where you're gonna find VHS, but I mean, I'm sure on the internet. If you you don't use the internet. So this dude was like super adamantly like against the internet because he thought it was like slowly ruining his life. He was a nice guy.
I mean, it's ruining all our lives.
But he was like super like it was I didn't know that a person could actually exist like that in this world.
So the moral of the story is he was just really bad at computer science and couldn't keep his job.
My friend's my dad's really close friend was a guy. He worked in IT, so he worked like with computers all the time. He had one email for his work email. He didn't have a computer. He didn't have a cell phone. He had one landline that like no one even had the number to. Didn't have a computer at home or anything.
How do you like?
And he works in IT, so he's like he knows about it all. He just doesn't like it.
I see. Maybe it's just like because I grew up with this stuff, and I don't know what life is like without it. But how do you live without like cell phones and stuff? Like, what do you do if you get like stranded in the middle of nowhere? Are you just dead? Like, is that like just the point? Like, oh, my car broke down, and I'm in the middle of Kansas. I guess I'm dead.
I'd imagine you'd have a few more survival skills than those of us who rely on technology.
All my parents are like, oh, back when I was a kid, like, we would be out all the time, and then we'd get to do all this crazy. They tell me stories of all these stupid things they did out in the woods. But like, if someone in these days was like 12 and did something stupid out in the woods, like, they'd be grounded for like a month.
I don't know. Back in my day, back in our day, we had to go to the library to look up things. It's really inconvenient because now we can just have
the more like safety nets, like cell phones and stuff that people have, like the less safe parents think their kids are.
I guess I don't know. You're by far more safe. Like as in like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because like it's easier to get information out there like immediately. I feel like every time something bad happens, it's immediately out there. So it's just like there's more instances of it being recorded.
Well, it's also like if someone didn't have a cell phone and they weren't there, like maybe they showed up an hour late to like where they're supposed to be, it'd just be like, oh, whatever. But if that person has a cell phone and he's an hour late, they're like, where is this guy? Did he die in a car crash or something?
What you're saying about that is like all the statistics about the number of patients who have cancer at hospitals, and everyone's like, oh my god, the number's just getting higher every year. Well, yeah, because 50 years ago the technology didn't exist at all And since it's come into existence, it keeps getting better, so we're detecting more of it.
Yeah.
So we are finding more people with cancer.
But it's like, I don't statistics are almost a good idea, but they always like make people panic and stuff.
Well, it
It's
depends how people manipulate them.
I don't know. One thing that always gets me is like the difference between like whenever people say like crime rates and like say like, oh, this has like low crime rates, but it's only reported crime rates. So like if something happens and nobody reports it,
So like
Like,
if
that's
there's a
still
drug
there.
deal turned homicide, and there's like one witness, but he was the guy there selling the drugs, he's not going to report it.
yeah, like
Well, at some point, it's going to be reported as a homicide.
but there's like how many things do you think like don't get like stuff that isn't immediately
It
able
depends
to like
on the area.
because I saw a thing today. And it was about West Virginia and like what are the highest crime rates in West Virginia, and there's like the towns that were like going through it, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, so like it looks low, but I know for a fact that there's a lot more to that than what do you see
Yeah.
right there.
Well,
It's just most of it doesn't get reported because small
It's
town
funny
and they
because,
don't want
like,
to report it.
DC doesn't really report by area for crimes or like look at the reports by area. They do it by dates. So the one that was really funny but kind of sad that I remember was 2 years ago. The Redskins were in the playoffs, and during the entire game, there wasn't one reported crime in all of DC. Within half an hour after the Redskins lost, there were 6 robberies and like 3 homicides.
Oh my god.
So the result of Redskins losing the playoffs or like getting knocked out of the playoffs just caused robberies and murders everywhere.
That needs to be part of like their marketing team needs to look at them and say like, or like whoever's in charge of them, like, you need to win. Do this for the city.
We'll just tell the other team to lose to keep DC safe.
Oh yeah, you get to like pay
Yeah.
like a whole system says in some dystopian futuristic America where sports teams decide the safety of our civilians.
It's not really futuristic now, though.
Oh, it's right now. Yeah, but it's once they figure it out and start using it and they abuse it. And that's when we get into dystopian future and everything's weird and people wear like Google Glass all the time. Except they stopped Google Glass, didn't
They did.
Yeah.
Oh.
It made
So
people feel too unsafe.
People
when
paid,
other
like,
people had Google Glass.
$1,000 to be part of that beta program, and now Google
Yeah.
Glass has no support whatsoever.
But then those people who did that, they can be like, I was one of the Google Glass guys. You
I
weren't.
wouldn't brag about it.
I
be
wouldn't
like,
either,
I was one of the
but they
Google
can.
Glass
Yeah, so in like
guys.
3 years, people are going to be like, Google Glass. That sounds familiar, but I don't remember it.
Did you ever see like videos of people using it though?
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird. Like
No, they're
looking
gonna
at
come out
people
with like a
using it.
window or something. They're gonna make a new Google Glass to just try and completely obliterate anyone's remembrance of the glasses.
No, the Microsoft has that thing. Fuck. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The
What is it?
VR.
Yeah.
That's not the same, though.
like,
Like,
it's-
you don't wear that outside. You wear that in your
No.
house.
No, it's like it's a starting point. They went with something more realistic, but it's cool as hell. Have you seen it?
Did you see the people passing torches to each other on that?
Yeah.
No.
These 2 guys had it, and they were like looking at each other, and they had like a fake torch, and they were in like a dungeon, and they had to like pass it back and forth to each other, and they were like accurately throwing it.
That's awesome. It's.
And then there's one with a pet.
Did you see the
where
like the
there was, like,
Minecraft
a pet-
demonstration?
No, but there was
Oh.
like a pet hooked up to it, and the guy was like petting his dog through virtual reality, but was like actually petting his dog.
Now, that's really, really dumb. Why do I need to go into VR?
Well, the dog
to
wasn't
give
like
my
a
animal
dog; it was
affection?
like a companion for some games, so it looked different.
Like a pet in World of Warcraft?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god, I can pet like creatures in games.
Hurley's actually just like a bear in virtual reality.
Little do I know that my glasses I'm wearing right now have been this my entire life, and everything I see around me is fake.
See, I don't know. I feel like wearable tech is this really weird, awkward trend that's
I
never
feel like
going
it's
to
a
take
fad
off.
that's
Kind of like video game motion sensing technology.
yeah.
Now we're gonna skip right into implanted tech.
Like
It's gonna
I
be in
don't
our
think the
brains.
smartwatch is gonna last too much
No,
longer.
it's not.
I don't
It
know,
has an
'cause
issue. No, the biggest thing that's gonna make it flop is they have issues for like the heart monitor things and stuff. issues with people who have tattoos on their wrist
Yeah.
during a huge campaign where people are saying the next, like, workforce discrimination is people with tattoos.
I mean,
It was
I feel
bad
like
timing.
it wouldn't take too long for them to figure it out, but I think the watches are actually ultimately going to catch on and stick
I don't
around.
think so.
I think they are, though, because it's kind of convenient just to have, like, a maybe not, like, the whole thing being smartwatch, but at least something similar to that
I
Bluetooth
read
to your phone.
an interesting article. It might have been on Ars Technica, but talking about smartwatch tech, and essentially, like, it's not going to work if you just think of it as a mini cell phone. Then it's never going to work, which is how so many people are thinking of it.
I
But like, if you think of it as its own standalone watch with all its own standalone independent functions, then it could work really well.
But what
I think it
standalone
works better
functions
as a
does it
periphery of
have
a phone, though.
is the thing.
Like
Well,
it-
I mean,
it's a glorified Bluetooth headset
Yeah.
on your wrist.
I mean, that's the reason I think it will actually catch on and stay, is because you can have certain features of your phone immediately accessible, like right there, so you have it there.
but the point is, it's my cell phone, which I already have on me 24/7, 365.
But if
Why do I need a device that's a second closer to my face?
I think it'll be something that ends up being more used in like workplaces, so that you like both hands are free.
See,
Like
if the watch was the phone itself that hooked up to a Bluetooth headpiece, I think that would catch on.
I don't
but-
know. I think it's gonna catch on in some sort of form and stick around, but I don't know.
wearable tech's just the weird step until implants.
That's where it is. Implants are gonna implant it straight in your head. It's all right there, and then that's how they control you. All right, we're gonna finish up here. So, what are your recommendations of the week? What have you been watching? What have you been listening to? What have you been playing? Who wants to go first?
Listening to new track from Diplo and Sleepy Tom. Just came
Oh.
out in the past 2 weeks. It's trending right now. I think it's up in the top 10 on iTunes EDM list. It's pretty good.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I know what you haven't been watching.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah, you need to get on that.
Same.
Nick.
I don't think it's something I'm listening to. It's something to get ready to listen to. Is the new Silver Sun Pickups album is coming out this month.
I don't really listen to Silver Sun
When?
Pickups.
Oh. I think it's in 2 weeks. I don't know. They have a single out already, and this is back to the main girl singer got pregnant, so they had like a replacement while she like gave birth. And,
Oh.
like, partially raised a baby.
I remember you told me
I
that.
shouldn't say partially raised a baby until
She-
the baby
yeah.
wasn't like
Ugh.
super dependent on the mom. So now she's back for this album.
The baby can hold the bottle on its own. It's fine. Just leave it at home. It'll be fine. Does she have a nanny for it?
I would
I
assume
assume.
so.
Or is she just going to bring it on stage with her? But
Oh,
like
God,
those little
that
like
poor baby.
those big like baby earmuffs that
Headphones.
people like take their baby to like Dave Matthews concerts, which is weird. Don't take your baby to a concert. Your baby doesn't need to go to a concert. I haven't been listening to anything this week because nothing new has really crossed my path. Actually, wait, no, I have been. Telekinesis used to be like this super happy, fun, garagey sort of band thing, and now it's really not. But I kind of like it, I guess. It's like kind of like electronic now as opposed to guitars and stuff, which is a very drastic change. But whatever. It was. They're okay, I guess. That's about all I've been listening to. And I watched the Mr. Robot finale.
And it was okay.
It was amazing. It was awesome.
If it was better, it could have been good.
It was already as better as good could better be.
Okay.
It was amazing. What are we gonna do for lunch? Where do you wanna go?
Don't you work in like 10 minutes?
No, I work in like an hour.
Oh, I thought you worked at 1.
I worked at 2.
Well, we should probably finish this podcast first.
All right.
Okay.
That's it.
Bye.
It's on my hand. Does that burn? No, it doesn't.
Do you say does it or is it?